Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kevin Strange. I am a cartoonist, novelist, and independent filmmaker, and I am here today to share my love of comic books with you. And I am joined today by my special guest, the illustrious Dr. Ben. And Dr. Ben is going to walk us through uh, one of my favorite creators, the first issue of one of my favorite creators' books, Dave Sim's Cerebus. There's two things I love about comics and um, kind of storytelling and entertainment in general, Dr. Ben, and that is singular creators, creators whose sole hand is in a project, especially in comic books. That's very rare to find. It's American comic books. That's rare to find. We don't see a ton of singular creators doing work. We do in indie comics, but comics that break into sort of more of the, I wouldn't say Cerebus is mainstream, but mainstream for comic books anyway. Most people kind of know. Most people who love comics know who Cerebus is, mostly due to another video we did. Spawn. We did Ninja Turtles number 8, but we also did Spawn number 10. And that a lot of people. That was my when I was a kid. I didn't know who the fuck Cerebus was until I read Spawn number 10. But for comic book readers, Cerebus is kind of kind of mainstream, whatever. So Dave being a singular creator in that respect is I give him a lot of kudos, a lot of cred for being a singular creator. And then another thing I love about indie comics, Dr. Ben, is creators who just go on and on and on and create these epic omnibus style style books. And this is not an American tradition to go on and on and on and do hundreds and hundreds of issues and decades after decades after decades of working on the same book and the same character and doing so as a singular creator. And Dave is very rare in that respect. That's kind of more of a manga thing, right? Where Japanese creators will start a series and they will work on it for decades and decades and decades, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of issues. So Dave is kind of an American outlier in that respect, and Cerebus as a character and as a series is kind of an outlier in that respect. And we're going to take a look at it today. I'm going to throw over to Dr. Ben. He's going to walk us through Cerebus issue number 1.
Well, I do have to correct you, sir, that
There'll be a lot of correcting on this channel, Dr. Ben.
yeah,
I am not,
yeah.
I am anything if erroneous.
So Cerebus was not just the creation of Dave Sim, but he was also aided in the issues. He did 300 issues or 301 or whatever, plus the other stuff. Gerhard, I don't know how you say his name, helped with the backgrounds.
Eventually, he did pick up after 30 issues or so. Dave brought on a background artist, which again is very common for manga, right?
Oh yeah, that is.
And then they have assistants that do the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought. It's funny. I never made that connection of him being kind of like a mangaka of doing.
Yeah, he's very much an American mangaka, and it doesn't ever really get.
When
people talk about Dave Sim, they talk about him being a misogynist. They talk about him being a pedophile. They don't often talk about him being a mangaka. An American mangaka. What do they call a gaijin? Isn't that what an American in Japan is? A gaijin?
Yeah. I think
he's a comics gaijin.
It's the G word. Yeah, but I mean, you are correct. Like, he started it by himself. And the thing I'm not sure, I think this is, is that he did, when he pledged or whatever, decided he was going to do 300 issues of the comic. Was that when he started it? Like when he did issue 1, this is the reprint of issue 1, right? And I like it too because you can see how goofy, kind of different he is from that.
Compared to that video we did of Ninja Turtles 8 and the style, or even the style right there, yeah, from latter days. Look at Cerebus on the left versus that cover of Cerebus on the right. Night and day. Could be different characters.
Yeah.
Much like that comparison we did in the Ninja Turtles video where we talked about the
Oh,
Ninja
yeah.
Turtles cartoon Archie comics versus the Eastman and Laird comics. It has that similar, although this is the same hand. Those are different artists that when we compared those, this is the same hand. But that's
Yeah.
what happens over 300 issues of a comic.
Right. Yeah, this is 200, issue 271. The first one started in 1977. And I have this one because, like, I just think this one's interesting because this is the issue that came out in October of 2001. So, like, it's just such a different part of the world. It was like right after 9/11, right after they did the 9/11. Like just seeing like how much that affected, like, I don't want to say like affected everyone, but like that's what did I have last time? The Ruler. That's what it was. As you know, like me trying to figure out the cameras, like always. Okay, but so anyways, the first issue is like this kind of was also like a what do you call it, like a parody or a satire of Conan the Barbarian, right? Like he starts off, and it reads it. That's exactly like how it reads. Like, because I've read like lots of issues of the Cerebus, and to be honest, I can't make heads or tails of whatever the whole story is or whatever.
I don't think anybody can. I don't know if Dave can.
Okay.
Dave went a little crazy after about 3 phone books. He started losing the plot. He started losing his mind.
Right.
He started losing his career. He's one of the, his the unfortunately for Dave, like the people talk about how the the sales of the Ninja Turtles just went up and up and up. For Cerebus, at a certain point, people just checked out, and the print runs got smaller and smaller and smaller. And by the time you're there at latter days, look at what printing that is. It's probably printing 1 because there probably only was 1 printing. Is it first printing?
I'm looking to see because sometimes for a while they have like in the earlier ones it has like a printing, like a number printed. I don't think this one does though. But yeah, this is just the first printing though, definitely. But yeah, there's
I don't know if it ever had a second printing other than the phone book.
Excerpts from the speech prepared for delivery by John F. Kennedy. What? Okay, yeah, I thought that was something else. Anyways.
Yeah, no, this first issue is actually really good. I've read this several times, and it is a really cool like sword and sorcery Conan parody, like with the wizard that they go to fight. Like you can go ahead and lay out the plot and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like a parody, like making fun of. Like it seems more. It's almost like doing like in jokes. You know what I mean?
It's a pastiche of a Conan. He's doing in the style of Conan.
And it does kind of answer like my question, because I always wondered like if people see that he is an aardvark, right? Like that's what the animal he's supposed to be is an aardvark, and it's like him coming into a tavern, and this dude tries to grab his tail, and he just cuts it off immediately. No hesitation. He needs a drink. And this guy's like, I can't serve you here. You're a guest, and I always serve guests at their tables. I admire your cowardice, obese one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's just like that weird like humor that they'll have like in character humor, I guess. And it's fun, it feels like
it's not breaking the fourth wall, and it's also not insulting Conan and sword and sorcery.
Right. It's not insulting. That's
homage. It's an homage or a pastiche of that style, and it's awesome as a sword and sorcery story. I think it's cool.
It's kind of more almost like an elephant here.
He really didn't know what the hell he was drawing at first. He didn't get Cerebus down for a while. I don't know if he got him down. I'm going to flip through the omnibus a little bit. Yeah, he gets him down eventually. I'm looking at in the 200s, and he's fully formed as Cerebus, as
I
we
mean,
know.
Dave Sim can draw. Like he's a good.
Well, that's what's funny is
Fantastic
everything
drawer.
else on the page is awesome,
Right.
and then Cerebus is just like really crude.
Like, okay, so my question is, it was when he was on some sort of psychedelic trip when he decided there's going to be 300 issues. Is that before he started, or is it like he's doing this and he's like, it's got to be 300 issues long? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
is
know.
that
That's something that maybe the gang, the dollar bin gang, can drop in the comments below and school us on their Cerebus knowledge and let us know, when did Dave decide that this was going to be an epic 300-page series, that he was going to, draw back to back to back to back to back forever for decades, right? It didn't end
right?
until the 2000s.
Yeah, I know.
It started in the 70s and ended in the 2000s. Are you kidding me? Again, that's something only mangaka do.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is like, what would you say?
Mangaka. Tell us in the comments how you pronounce mangaka, gang.
Mangaka. But yeah, like legendarily, like he takes a bunch of acid, and that's when he decides that he has to do 300 issues of this comic, the Cerebus comic.
I love it. If that's the truth, I love it. I love that he took a bunch of acid and said, "I didn't do 300 issues of my comic book." I love it. And then he did.
And then he did it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and he knew, like, that's one of the things is like when I first heard of it was the same thing as you. Like I remember seeing like issues of it at the comic shop, like up in the weird comics area, and just being like, eh. And then seeing Spawn 10, and I was like, okay. And then I picked up a couple of them, but yeah, it was like, everyone's talking. It's got to go for 300 issues.
What's the plot here? This wizard's got something from the town. What does he have?
Yeah, there's an eye of some sort of mystical gem or something or other. They have to go retrieve.
They just
will not retrieve, but they want to go steal him and these two other fellows up there, like other. And it reads like Dungeons and Dragons like fan fiction, like but
just like they would pay Conan to go steal this thing for them. They're going to pay Cerebus, and he's going to go steal this thing from this evil wizard. And so now he's fighting skeletons.
Yeah, that's a good skeleton fight. He's going upstairs. Can you and they're just all in black too. Like the stairs are just, but you can see them. Like just like the weird, you know what I mean? Like I looked at that, I was like, wow, you had to have that like all mapped out, and then just okay, well, this is exactly where I like that. So, but I can kind of see it being like the whole thing being like an acid vision, be like,
sure.
Okay, whoa. Okay, like what if it was Conan? Yeah, instead of Conan, it's like a little like talking aardvark dude. Like think about it. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like a just like a druggy like concept of just like
right.
Well, but think like everyone else is like normal, but like he's like an aardvark. Like think about what that would mean. And like people would just be looking at him like, what are you talking about? And you'd be like, right. I gotta draw 300 issues, and then you'll understand. But yeah, that's at the beginning. That's why I wonder, because like the beginning part is just a classic. Like he does all this. There's he had to have been thinking all this.
This is psychedelic. Like he's trying to talk to his people, and everything's getting warped and distorted like an acid trip. And think about this: back in
that's what happens, right? When they're going into the wizard's castle,
yes,
all these flowers, and he's like, flowers.
That's right, and they start tripping.
What madness is this? If he seeks to stop Cerebus with flowers, his eyes bug out, and he starts.
On this page right here. Page 21. Remember that this is the 1970s, so Dave had to like distort and obscure that shit himself. Like he had to draw it that way. There's no Photoshop to take your picture and warp it around like that.
Yeah, he's just using 100% LSD to do this.
He used the tool. He used the tool called LSD. I love this. I love this dragon on the opposite page.
This one's good too. Like that's like a nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, and then
then it comes to life.
Like super, yeah.
Look at that. Dave can draw. Dave draws his ass off right there. Look at the silhouetted Cerebus down there. You know, I love my silhouettes. I always say that
arms are all just.
Oh yeah. I always say that you can you know, it's a common saying among cartoonists that if you can draw your character in a silhouette and they're still recognizable, then you've done great character design. And that is obviously Cerebus down there. People are gonna get sick of hearing me say it, but you know, I'm a cartoonist myself, and I love character design. I love composition, and this splash page is great composition.
Oh yeah, you know what this made me think when
welcome fools to your doom.
Welcome to your doom. Was that Altered Beast?
Yeah, Altered Beast shout out. Sega Genesis or arcade if you're even older.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. This is like a legitimate, like really cool, like tentacles getting the other guys that are helping them. You know, they're like thieves or like adventurers. You know,
down in the bottom panel on the left page, Cerebus realizes that he has to close his eyes, so he's not hallucinating anymore to attack the wizard.
Oh,
starts swinging his sword with his eyes closed. Then on the opposite page, you can see he sticks the fucking wizard in the bottom panel.
Wow. I literally, you know what? I do think I have problems with reading comprehension. Because, like, I seriously sat and read this right before, you know, we did the show. And I remember reading all this, and I did not understand that he was, like, closing his eyes. I didn't even understand that he was closing his eyes at all. And now that's crazy. Yeah. Just exposing that I have, you know, like I said, bad reading comprehension. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I remembered all of this. You're like, what are they looking for? And I'm like, it's a jewel. It's like a secret jewel, and like spoilers. Yeah, I guess we're at the last page, anyways. They get out, and he's like, by the way, that isn't a jewel you've got. Because they're like, they're telling him, you know, we got this secret special jewel. We are gonna do all this shit with it. It's so great. We're gonna have countries. You know, we're gonna take over. This is, you know, it's because it's like a magic jewel, right? Like it's crazy. Yeah. And you know, like how about we'll give you more, right? And he's like, no, my bargain was a pouch of gold. That's all I want. I got you the jewel. My pouch of gold. And they're like, but once we sell the jewel, you shall have 1,000, 10,000 pouches of gold. And he's like, a Nerean
one will suffice.
Right. A Nerean statue became slowly less substantial as the wizard's sorcery slipped away like sands in an hourglass. Gradually the hall shimmered and faded around them like a bad dream, and they were outside in the pre-dawn air. And like they're like trying to it's so crazy. Like it wasn't a jewel. Like once the wizard dies, like all the magic power leaves. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. I was just like reading it. I'm like, this is like fantastic.
Yeah. Know? And it turns out that they just have a walnut in their hand.
Right. It's just, by the way, that isn't a jewel you've got. It's just a simple walnut.
And
risked your life.
And he rides away on his horse with his pouch of gold. That's it. And they're looking at him all dumbfounded. What the fuck?
It was, the thieves would later say, the first time they had heard an earth pig laugh. Yeah, so they call him an earth pig. But yeah, so that is the part that I'm just never quite sure about. Like, so he is like just this weird little.
They know that he's a pig, an aardvark, an earth pig, but they don't
Yeah,
care.
right. He's just
They don't care. His works, his acts are so heroic that everyone just sort of falls in with it. Like, okay, whatever. He's the man. Let's do it. And he goes on adventure after adventure after adventure like that. Like this is the end of
yeah,
part one. It says, coming in the next issue. What is it? What is it called?
captive in Berea.
Yeah,
Boreala.
Captive in
Yeah.
Boreala. And then I've
Yeah,
got that over here.
I mean, that's fantastic. Like that little mountain range. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not like we were saying. It's not like an insult to Conan. It's like
it's super legit. It's a super
somebody that was tripped out that read too much. Robert E. Howard.
He just took too much acid and watched and read too much Robert E. Howard. Yeah, I've got that. I've got the second issue splash, over here.
Nice.
And 1978 is when he did this splash page. He's got signed down here at the bottom. And we won't go through. We won't go all the way through issue 2 today. But if you'd like, Dr. Ben, we could go through issue 2 some other time, and 3 and 4, and we could do a lot of.
He does like what? Because like what you were saying earlier was like how. Well, like what I was saying too, like how his appearance changes.
He's already starting to figure him out.
Yeah,
he's starting to figure him out in issue 2. He's less wobbly than he was. He was pretty weird in issue 1, like slapdashed into that page of otherwise like really solid cartooning, really solid black and white like outlaw cartooning style, and then Cerebus was like slapped in there. And I think maybe that doing that what is it called? Where you cut out the not dot matrix. What is it called?
The screen tones.
Screen tone. I think maybe doing him in the screen tone is what allowed Dave to like be like, oh, that's what's going to be weird about him, and stop trying to draw him as like an ugly thing in the middle of a.
Yeah, the other thing was I think it's like the first issue was almost like more like influenced by like underground comics is what it looked like.
Oh yeah,
like somebody like doing like those like the Freak Brothers or something.
Sure, yeah.
They were doing like an animal comic. That's how he looked. But like it's like, oh no, I've got like an animal dude in the middle of like classic. What would you say like the way the technology and like the setting is in Cerebus? It's almost like it's like medieval, but almost like
it's
like past that. Like
it gets past that. Like these first 25 issues. He's very much in that medieval sword and sorcery world. But then as it moves into high society, he sort of comes out of the medieval land into more of a modern society. And I don't think they have cars or anything like that, but it's definitely more sophisticated than this stuff. Like I'm digging through hundreds of pages. I'm 200
go back for pages a second. Or there was a picture of like a hotel or a inn or something on the right there. Yeah, because like that's what I'm saying. This is him. Like that's not what
Gerhardt. Yeah, that's not him yet. That's not Gerhardt yet. This is still Dave Sim drawing. And it goes on for forever, for 25 issues of this comic. I mean, some comics don't even go 25 issues, and this is just the beginning. This is the first arc, the first phone. And then once he gets out of Fantasyland, everything gets weird. And most people actually say, don't even start reading Cerebus in the first 25 issues. Start it with High Society, because then it becomes this like literary book.
Well, it already has like Groucho there.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's the thing I remember from like back in the day reading it. It was like that he was like a huge like Marx Brothers fan. He always like talk about them, and like though they're like he uses their like like their like caricatures or whatever as what Lord Julius, and then Lord Julius has all kinds of doubles, and like there's all kinds of he uses that's what I'm saying. Like when I came in, it was like in the must have been 180s or something, and it was like doing all this kind of weird like Sandman parody, but there was like he had a character called the Roach, and the Roach like there's all kinds of different versions of the Roach. Like there's Bat Roach and Wolverine Roach, and like every different popular character you could think of. Like and it was just bizarre. Like I said, there's like parodies of all the like Death and Dream from like Neil Gaiman's Sandman comics, and like nuns or like whatever those like the holy sisters of what Siren or something. That's what I'm saying. I was just like trying to read all of it and like what, because there's once he gets into those later issues, there'll be pages where it's just text.
Oh yeah,
a weird like rambling like excerpts from like novels in this world that like characters have. It gets so just insane. Like that's what I mean. Like I've read lots of these things. I love the art. His lettering, I mean, is legendary. I mean, all hand lettered. I mean, that stuff is just.
Yeah. And he's still doing the backgrounds in this stuff. I mean, you're talking laboring daily, every single day, 8, 10, 12 hours a day over these pages with such dedication. That's what I'm saying. I love these. I love singular works by singular artists. They're just so special and unique. To know that one guy, did all this, dedicated his life and his time to a book this weird.
My other question about him is, when did he start putting in? He'll have like he'll feature like other artists, cartoonists, like in the back. He'll have like give them like 8 pages or something to have their own comics. Promote, Colin Upton or Michael Zulli or this hotshot P. Craig Russell. What's this guy doing? Like Jeff Smith, who's what's it? Bone, like that. All the guys that got huge, like all of them, think about that. Like 100 comics, every one of them has like a different like extra like indie cartoonist from like the 80s and 90s in it. That's like insane. I don't even know if there like a what would you call like a bibliography of that or something, because I mean,
not sure.
That's why I told you like the other day, I've been picking these up anytime I see like old issues of Cerebus. I've been picking them up just because it's just like a little snapshot, because he gets so many fans like writing, like I don't even know, like discussing the plot, and they all started discussing relationships, philosophies, religion, like all this stuff all happens in the letters column. I mean, it's such a, and they don't reprint the letters in the phone books though, do they?
Nope, you got to get the individual.
You want to get that deep into Cerebus lore.
You know what? I bet there's an online resource for it, and I bet I could tell you who could tell us.
That big splash page of his head.
Yeah. With the eye bleeds off the page, so it just goes into the bite. Love it. I bet I know who could tell us. The dollar bin diggers in the comments could tell us the where to find the bibliography of all that stuff in the letters column. In fact, if we get enough issues of single issues of these, as we dig through dollar bins, we could do a video dedicated to just the letters columns of Cerebus single issues. I think that's going to do it for us this time, though. I think we did a pretty good, thorough.
I have one gripe against Cerebus, and not about the issue 50 is a friggin' sideways issue.
Uh-oh.
The whole thing. So in order to read it, you got to go. Which I mean, like if you're looking at it on a TV screen, I guess that's good. That's actually kind of.
I don't mind that. Well, I don't mind it when it's a few pages. The whole comic written like that is kind of annoying, I guess.
I feel like I'm like a looking at a porno magazine or something. Like you're sitting there like, oh yeah, let's flip it open. Oh, you know what I mean? Like there's just something about like that's just not the way you read books. They don't open like,
when you're gonna do 300 of them, though, I guess you got to do some novelty to keep yourself interested.
no.
No.
No, that's not. Oh, and he is like such a when he draws like females, all the different love interests of Cerebus. He's got just such a soft touch for like faces and expressions. Like he is just a master at drawing. I mean that is, but still no excuse for a sideways issue. I don't. That's the reason I don't like. You know, I would criticize Liefeld and McFarlane as well for their Spider-Man X-Force sideways issues. Like, no, that was that the one Todd left Marvel at with? Was the sideways issue of Spider-Man?
It might be. Tell us in the
so.
comments. Tell us in the comments about the sideways issue of Spider-Man, gang. All right, we're gonna get out of here, Dr. Ben. Where can we follow you? We can follow you in the link in the description to your YouTube page. And you've got a new comic you're working on right now. Tell us about that a little bit before we get out of here.
So in, I was going to pull one of the pages I already have.
You've had a cricket in your house over the last 6 videos.
Yeah.
And I want the commenters to blow you up about this fucking cricket. In every video we've done together, like 6, 7 in a row, this cricket has been fucking chirping.
I got a little plastic jug because I saw him earlier. He got in here, and I was like, I'm going to catch him. But they're wise to me. So, yeah, Let Us Get is... it's this comic. It's about the weird satanic murder that I know way too much about. And I use cartoon animals to discuss parts of it. Sort of like an autobio. I also talk about weird political stuff that's going on. Sometimes I post, you know, whatever happens with, you know, when all the crazy stuff was happening in July, but you know, ancient history now. And I do want to also shout out, what's his name? Pixel Trader?
Pixel Trader.
The people doing AR-13L, the Little Mermaid. You know, the Little Mermaid with guns and like, they're still, I believe they're in demand still. They're going to have, this is going to be one of the...
Dr. Ben's got some art.
Yeah, the fan art gallery. Got the cocaine shark. And like I love their crab guy with his like his ripped off claw, and he has a knife just like tied onto it. But and the mermaid, I feel like I want to touch it up because like that was the one they liked, but I like the way I drew her gun, like I said in this one more. I don't know, I got to work on it, but I want to shout him out, the Little Mermaid.
You can learn about that and many more of Dr. Ben's projects in the link below to his YouTube channel. And you can follow me over on my Patreon page, linked in the description, where you can read almost 20 years worth of comics, novels, and watch all my feature films for only $3 a month at my Patreon. Hundreds of hours of entertainment from yours truly over there. And you can always sign up right here to the members section of the YouTube channel to get early access to our videos, up to 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 videos early before they go public. Well worth the $2.99 price tag on memberships. And as we grow as a channel here, and me and Dr. Ben dedicate more of our time to these comics reviews, we're also drawing our own comics, and we're going to be doing live streams that will be member or Patreon exclusive as well, and you know, access to our comics we'll begin that way before the general public gets a hold of them when we finish our projects. So lots of comic book goodness to look forward to here. Digging in the dollar bin with Kevin Strange and Dr. Ben, right?
Keep on digging.
Yeah, we'll see you guys at the dollar bin.